know when you do start up the...
Okay.
Hello, everyone. You are watching a quarterfinal match in the 2018 Dominion Online Championship between Limetime and Derg17. I'm Akuchi, and I'm joined in commentary by the top seed remaining in the championship, Mick Sanok.
Hi.
So this is the quarterfinal. There are 8 players left. This is the first quarterfinal. Limetime is the stronger seed. I never know whether to call it the higher seed or the lower seed.
Right.
But yeah, Limetime is the 7th seed. So and then Derg17 is the 82nd seed, the highest seed to make it. But Derg is a strong player.
Just knocked out number 2.
That's right, Psychomatic.
In his previous match, so certainly capable of pulling off another upset.
Yeah, that was a pretty grueling 7-game match. I watched most of that one. Were you able to watch it, Mick?
I watched a good portion of it, yes. I caught the end of it, which was still long. So, or at least a part of the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
It was definitely a very, very long match.
All right, so we're heading into the first game. The match structure is the first player to 3.5 wins, or rather 3 wins and a tie. If it is completely tied after 6 games, there will be a 7th deciding game with a random player start. Otherwise, the player starts will be alternating. Looks like Derg is the first player for this board.
He's second player.
Okay, looks like Limetime is the first player.
Do you know that the red name is first player, and the blue name is second player?
Also, the first player.
The board is
in the bottom.
Like it's got quite a bit of power on it. Well, mainly in the form of governor, of course. There's a great remodel targets all around between Border Village and probably Rats as well. Typically, Rats wouldn't pair so well with Governor, or it's not ideal. But here, since you can remodel into Border Village and pick up another Governor, I would think worth pursuing the Rats on this board.
Yeah, it's interesting because there isn't... The only other way to remove your starting cards is with Island, which is very slow. So Rats could be tempting because certainly with Shelters, you don't want to be using a Governor remodel on Copper or their Shelters.
And additionally, the Rats are extremely good as if your opponent chooses a remodel.
Right, you can upgrade it into a Governor.
Pretty much at any point in the game, it's going to be a good play. At the end, it'll be a nice Dutchy move. And so Derg has a choice here that's, or I guess this is Limetime's hand actually. Limetime here, as Wandering Winder has pointed out, has the opportunity to open Island with his Hobble, and I would take that on this particular board.
Yeah, that looks pretty good to me. Do you think
he does take it? And Derg is starting in on the Rats right away. So
okay, so yeah, Derg opens with the Rats silver, and Limetime opens with the Island silver. I guess neither player choosing to go with Fool's Gold as economy.
Yeah, I think I agree with the silvers. The Rats. So Derg will have an issue if he doesn't hit 5, which I guess he's guaranteed on his next turn here. Limetime has a bit of a choice here. I think you do go ahead and play and set aside a Copper, but he opts to just take a Governor. So that's not what I would have done in that spot, but I can understand it.
Yeah, an early governor isn't doing a whole lot for Limetime. I assume he'll use it to gain gold here. Yep. Picks up another governor. Limetime has another 5 coin hand, which is pretty nice.
Yeah. And it's actually not so terrible for his island to miss the shuffle.
Mm-hmm. And it's going to be paired with Overgrown Estate and Hovel, I believe.
Yep. No, the hovel's gone, but
Oh, that's right.
But yeah, with OE for sure.
So Derg picks up a cellar.
Yeah, I think that's there
pretty
is a
messy
limit
board.
to probably how many silvers you want to take here. I wonder if Derg will. So Derg goes ahead and hits the rats there.
Mm-hmm. It looks like
He'll
he's probably
probably
going to
take
want
the
to have.
island here with his hovel hand.
Yeah, that would be smart. And okay, interesting. So Limetime takes the opportunity to upgrade the Overgrown Estate into a cellar, gets another card out of it. So again, he has a question of whether or not to play the island.
Yep.
So Derg
He's
buys
still
another rats, so he
I
wants
think,
2
yeah.
rats in his deck.
So I would have taken the island as Derg, I think, but I'm not surprised Limetime there is getting the rats now. I assume here on Limetime's turn, well, I don't know. Limetime is not heavily incentivized to do the remodel just because of how good it probably is for Dirk. Typically in a game, governor game, this would be an easy remodel silver, right?
Yeah, because you can afford a governor as well.
But with your opponent having the rats, it's not as clear.
So Limetime opts to gain the gold and buy a governor. I think he's leading the 4-2 on governors.
Yeah. And Sam points out that with tracking, Dirk had actually played all of his rats, but I'm not sure if I think maybe Dirk shuffled it. Okay, Johnson's saying Dirk sold a rats. So,
yeah, pretty awkward for Dirk.
Anyway.
He can't afford a governor, so he has to remodel a silver, which gives Limetime an opportunity to trash his necropolis.
Yeah.
Same choice for Limetime of whether or not to remodel silver. He goes ahead and does
this
it.
time he doesn't.
Yep, and Dirk responds by upgrading the rats into a governor. But Limetime grabs what I believe is the 6th governor to win that split.
Yeah, looks like he has that split. Which of course makes things look quite good for Limetime going forward.
Yeah, I think I like having a market or 2 here just for a little bit of end game flexibility, but it's not necessary.
It does let you kind of, instead of relying solely on the remodeling, let you do cards and get a little more gains out of them better just by drawing bigger hands with cash.
Yeah, Limetime has gotten rid of all 3 of his shelters, whereas Derg still has the necropolis and the hovel.
Chad is suggesting that Dirk should just start greening, and I can see it.
The problem there is Derg, I think, doesn't have any gold. He hasn't used governor for gold yet.
Yeah, that'll make things a little bit tougher.
He does have, I think, 2 border villages to Limetime's 1, which are great remodel targets. So yeah, he could just double remodel here, rats into border village, gaining market, and then border village into province.
So he does take the rats remodel.
Yeah, giving Limetime an option of what to upgrade. I think
I would go ahead and do the rats of the market.
I agree.
Myself.
I don't think there's a lot of time left. to like try to get more value out of that.
No. It's if we had gotten the border villages a little lower, the rats auto pile might have came in to play.
Yeah.
But I don't think it'll. I think probably they'll end up with too much green before that could happen.
Yeah, for sure.
But in a world where they somehow hit 6s a lot more, that could be a thing that could still happen. I'm not.
I don't think I've ever seen a governor game end on piles.
A second seller does not especially move me.
Yeah, so Derg decides not to remodel the border village. I don't know. He gains a gold instead. I think greening early might have been his best chance.
So Limetime goes with the double.
That's good.
Province here. As you've pointed out in the past, the sort of the pattern, if you can green first in a governor game, you can often kind of put your opponent in a position where it's just very difficult for them to green.
Yeah, because in governor games, it's so much more efficient to get provinces than it is to get any other source of points. So if you can manage to get 5 provinces, it's really hard to overcome that on most boards, and this one is no exception.
Yeah, basically it's like the worst card for duchies, more or less. Not that they're always completely irrelevant or anything, but they can't. The big duchy comebacks are just not feasible.
Yeah, and Limetime's got a nice hand here with 2 governors, so he might be able to. It's going to be tough with all the copper in his deck to get 3 provinces on his next turn, though. So, but this is a dead turn for Derg. It looks like he didn't see any of his governors. But if he takes 1 province and Limetime can only take 2, Limetime might be a little bit nervous about that.
Right. Yeah, and it's an easy thing to get into a position when in a governor game where you imagine your opponent's threat is much greater than it actually is, and sort of green more conservatively than you actually have to.
Yeah, I think that's especially likely in a game like this where the trashing is weak and the players have quite a lot of coppers in their deck.
Right. You kind of envision them, multi-provincing, which is possible, but not especially likely, depending on the draw. And so sometimes you play around that. Sometimes you can kind of talk yourself into playing around something that's not actually a threat. But it does look like Limetime has triple here, so that should be pretty super safe.
Yeah, I'm impressed with Limetime's play here. I remember watching him play a game, might have been as much as a year ago, where he waited a long time to green in a governor game, which was surprising, and got like 5 or 6 provinces on the first turn. First turn he greened.
Yeah, you can do that. I mean, it depends, but that usually works better when you've got a super thin deck, which just isn't the case here. Again,
Nick's favorite thinking.
You got to have you have to have the ellipses. There he doesn't. What triggers me is the ellipses. Hopefully Limetime does not think so much that he convinces himself he shouldn't triple province because it's definitely a safe kind of thing to do here.
Yeah, it'd be a pretty mind-blowing sequence of events that could lead to a loss after a triple province here. Derg would have to get 4 duchies or the equivalent and the remaining 2
Right.
provinces, while Limetime gets absolutely no points.
Right.
Limetime even has a lead in terms of the island, so
Yeah.
it is astoundingly safe. And Derg doesn't even have a way to trash into duchy from his hand right now.
Yeah. I don't know how many of those rats are still floating around. Only one. So in the end, they didn't pose too much duchy threat. Johns points out he can sideways into it with border village.
Yeah, but he'd have to lose either a governor or a market from his hand.
So presumably a market. Though in theory the market could be a little better for duchy gaining. Potentially.
I mean, I think if I were Derg, I would resign if Limetime got 3 provinces here.
Right. I mean, yeah, that would be reasonable. It's also a nice. Fortunately, it's not going to take long to resolve anyway, any which way. But yeah, it would be. I mean, I think it's clear game over if Limetime triples here.
Mm-hmm. And Derg can at least take comfort that this was Limetime's start, so doesn't hurt too bad to lose this one.
Yep.
Oh boy.
This is very strange to me, but
Oh my goodness. So Limetime is afraid of something and decides to gain 2 golds and buy 1 province.
Yeah, that's. I mean, he'll probably still win the game. Like I don't think he's really.
There's no way Derg can get 4
basically
provinces.
just making the game last longer.
Mm-hmm.
But the I mean, that has to be a case of sort of imagining your opponent can do considerably more than they actually can.
He might not have even. I don't know if he was considering the 3 province line, because I just don't know how you even think that Derg can do anything about that.
Right.
Like 2 provinces, you can definitely convince yourself, well, if Derg gets a good draw, he can triple province and win. Like you don't want to leave yourself vulnerable to that.
Yeah.
But getting triple province, there's no such
There's
risk.
not a triple province. There's not a points move he can make to catch you. Not with the number of games that Derg has.
Yeah, like Limetime could be worried about dudding or something, but the thing about governor games is your opponent is almost certainly going to be drawing you some cards. Right. So
yeah, they can't do much if you're dudding. Like, I mean, they can't do much and still dud you. In a sense, you can't.
Yeah, in games, in governor games that are closer than this, there is a lot of interesting tactical play in the end game where you can take a lesser turn that doesn't involve drawing any more cards under the hopes that that your opponent's turn will also be less good.
Right. There's here it's too lopsided. The Limetime has better deck size and more governors and more 6s. So
yeah, if Derg's best move is probably to take at least 1 duchy.
Yeah, I mean,
if he takes a province,
Limetime's already holding a double province without drawing. Which of course is just a fortunate starting hand for him, but
as Derg, you just lose if Limetime takes 3 more provinces. So I think you can safely take 1 province if you want to do that.
Yeah, I mean, the other angle is to convince yourself you can make Duchy Duke work, but the game's not going to last that long. You'll just you'll never get into that quantity of either Duchy or Duke. But right. So it's mostly just hopeless for him.
Yeah, getting 2 provinces is almost certainly losing. Like from Dirk's perspective, we know it is absolutely losing.
Right.
Getting 1 province, like you have to feel like that's safe, and then I guess you want to take as many duchies as you can. It's actually good to have that rats in the next hand, theoretically.
That's true. There's some you have to question what the kind of the upside is of playing on or versus that, but
Yeah, I guess here he can. I mean, you can remodel rats into border village duchy.
yeah.
He did play the market, so he can actually take. I think he can get province and 3 duchies here. Close to the win, John says.
Is he thinking a quad province is
I don't
doable?
know. Like Dirk doesn't have any more governors, so I don't think there's any way he can get the 4th province. He's got 3 right now, but he can't get a 4th. Well, I mean, if he plays border village, rats trashing cellar or something. No, he.
Surely he
Wait,
has
no,
to,
he can't play the border villages. He
can't
needs
play
to
the border
remodel them.
villages.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
gonna need it.
Yeah, I don't think there's any way.
I mean, John says he can't get there. He's that's John's definition of close.
I see.
Um,
He can get 3. That is true.
He's short by like $4, which he could maybe get another buck or 2.
I guess yeah, he's got 2 coins in hand. I forgot it, or like from actions already. So he's short 5 coins. Yeah.
Now that he tossed the copper, he is.
Yeah.
He was 4. And now he's even in a spot where like he can't really play the vagrant at all.
Yeah, he's
If he
selling
wants
too
to
many
see his,
bad
if he wants to
cards.
see his, if he wants to see his last card, he can play 1 border village if he just plans to, you know. Does he even still have the triple duchy?
After discarding the rats, he doesn't right off the bat, because if he remodels a silver, he'll only have 9
Then he's
coins.
$1 short, right?
Yep.
I mean triple duchy plus province.
Yeah.
To clarify for chat, not just straight triple duchy.
Right, because like
unless the
Dirk
last
holding
card
off on
a
getting a
treasure.
province is just super. Like if Limetime gets 3 provinces, I don't know. I mean, you can believe in the Duke all you want, but I don't. It's not going down.
If the last card is money, then he can. So it is. So he can do triple duchy province if he wants.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think is probably the move at this point. But again, like, yeah, I mean, well, we've said it. It's just not a line that Limetime can really make work, I don't think.
So Dirk doesn't want to gain any provinces. Probably
Well,
Duchy Vagrant
I mean,
here.
he still could. There were two different ways to do the.
Oh, I see. I mean, the Border Village is less valuable than the silver, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it just depends on what
That was an odd gain, I think.
I might take a Vagrant Duchy over a Border Village
Yeah,
Duchy.
that's what I'm thinking.
If you're not, I mean, presumably you have. Limetime just draws so fast. Limetime can't play scared again, though he is.
Yep.
Oh, he has 2 buys. Never mind.
He can get 3 provinces here, yeah, which is
since he did have the market, it was a lot safer to draw on. I missed the buys.
Okay, so
Yeah, Wandering Winter's right. He could have just bought a Vagrant with his Border Village Duchy. He had $8, so maybe he didn't have the buy for that. No, he didn't. So this is of course just a huge lead.
no, I think he only had 7.
Well, I know he had 8 because he could have just straight bought a province.
Oh, he didn't play the like copper, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, the total was 7 from what he played, but he left
Gotcha.
a copper in hand.
Yep, he could have got a free Vagrant.
Which certainly, if you're going to play for an extended kind of game, is in which you pursue Duchy Duke is an easy pickup. I mean, here Derg just needs to only do things that give him duchies and dukes. There's not going to be a win this turn, so he shouldn't be.
Yeah, he should remodel and get 3 duchies here.
Yeah, he shouldn't even be considering anything that isn't just duchy and duke games, and he doesn't want to help Limetime at all. So I'm not even sure if that one draw is necessary on that governor. I don't remember exactly what the hand looked like.
He's drawing again. I don't know.
Drawing again is just super losing. Your only chance is sort of like, I mean, you don't really have a chance, but to say if you could stack Limetime's deck, your way of winning would be still to not draw him any cards, because otherwise you're just you're not going to make up that point difference in a turn, so you have to have him do a turn that is really, really bad. Also, tossing silvers is so strange.
Especially here, you have a situation where, again, you don't want to trigger a shuffle.
So his salary mostly made his turn worse there.
You can't even
the second seller
2 duchies.
The second seller was like a super decrease in quality of his deck there.
Yeah, now he's triggered a shuffle with 0 governors in it. That's 11 cards deep.
Yeah. I mean, we of course know that Limetime's just going to get to province on his turn, but he had a hand that was completely capable of. Now, why in the world Limetime would trash that governor? Is unknowable. It's just like,
oh my gosh.
It's like there's a point counter Limetime. He can just.
All right, so that game ended.
I guess his seller was already enough to guarantee him a province with his deck, with knowledge of his remaining deck, but it's still kind of funny. All right, so that one went to Limetime pretty clearly.
Yep, pretty solid lead. Got ahead on both trashing and on the governor count. Made the end game longer than it needed to be.
And it definitely liked the hovel opening, or the island opening with hovel. Derg didn't have that opportunity, though he could have taken it at one point, and I think I still would have used it at that stage.
Yeah, the second rats did not really help Dirk out all that much.
But everyone was pretty disciplined with their rats. Nobody let them get out of control.
Yeah, plenty of copper left at the end still.
Yeah.
All right, next game. We've got no villages.
Oh, there are not. At first I thought Denison was Ghost Town, and so then I saw big quarry things in my future with Ranger and stuff. But anyway, never mind.
Yeah, this game is a lot sadder. I think familiar is unavoidable. No way to trash curses.
Yeah, definitely.
Den of Sin is going to be solid, but it doesn't interact with Orchard, which is sad.
No, it's not really a great. I mean, on the one hand, you can do Quarry Ranger. I don't know. I don't know what you could stack up to get Orchard point. Orchard is not Triumphal Arch. I always get those two confused. I mean, you could easily get Familiar and Merchant Orchard points.
Yep.
Pretty reasonably.
So it looks like a potion silver opening for both players. I'm glad nobody attempted the potion loan. That would have been ballsy.
Yeah.
I don't even know if you want a loan at all.
I don't. I'm not really sure either. I'm trying to see what I think you can build into if there's much of anything. I mean, you can try to. You could get a loan if you wanted to try and do merchants really heavily. You might have time to do that.
So both players managed to pick up a familiar after the first shuffle. Limetime picks up a Baron on turn 3, whereas Derg picks up the silver. That Baron is going to have trouble finding a state after a little while.
Yeah.
If you hit it, though,
I would not be into the Baron camp here. Can anyone in spec chat tell me if they can hear Aku or if it's just me who has dropped him?
Limetime is his familiar miss a shuffle, which is pretty unfortunate.
Derg looks like he has 2P, but he doesn't really because he's got a den coming on.
Nice. Yeah, here's a miss, a Baron miss for Limetime.
Chance is sending me to the out of context thread.
So how many? I guess the question is like, when do you take familiar over like Den of Sin here? I think that time is over now, right?
Yeah, I mean you're gonna get enough to get to Orchard, I guess, but I wouldn't pass on dens for them probably.
Well, yeah, here Dirk has a, should he pick up like a silver, a merchant? He already has 3 familiars.
Yeah, I don't know how many familiars Limetime has. They both have 3.
I think so. Like the point totals.
Yeah, they're both
suggest
there.
that.
So you might, with Limetime about to shuffle, you're probably not getting to play a familiar you buy now usefully.
But Derg picks up another familiar anyway.
Yeah.
Limetime, I think, is the one. Yeah, Limetime's the one with the 2 merchants. I think it's definitely correct to pick up 3 merchants here.
Yeah.
For those orchard points. Dirk's the one with the 3 silvers, I think. So Limetime could definitely have some merchant duds in his future, but for now, this is a complete hit with his Baron finding estate, merchants finding silver. He's got a double Den of Sin turn.
Yeah, that's very nice.
So now they're tied up in terms of the curse split with 2 left.
So at some point here, it's not bad, of course, to just, buy golds and provinces. If you are in your turns where you have buys, then I can see the merchants.
Yeah, I think this might be a good turn to buy a gold for Limetime. It's it's going to go right into his shuffle.
Does he have? Is there another copper? It's always hard to tell with the opposite.
Yep, he just had
How many?
enough.
It's always hard with the top of the opponent on the top, that their hand, to see how much
Sometimes it
money
gets
they
jumbled.
actually have.
Yeah. So it looks like they split the curses evenly. I don't know who has the 2 golds. Derg just picked up one there.
Yep.
Oh, it looks like Derg has 2 golds.
Yeah.
So I think Limetime got 2 Den of Sins down into his bishop or a Baron hand, but he found the estate. So another good turn for Limetime.
This Baron has been pretty happy so far.
This could be Province Den, or it could be like 2 golds.
I don't think I would province before the shuffle. I would probably either double den or gold den.
It's also not crazy, I think, to go for Legionaries.
That's true. You can have more than one terminal in this deck for sure.
Like with Orchard, just picking up 3 Legionaries for points, like that's almost as good as gold. And sometimes you get the attack off.
Yeah. I mean, if you attack them, their hand just will be for sure garbage, or almost certainly.
This is definitely one of those cases where Legionary is quite a bit more powerful than Militia, because like the extra card they draw is almost certainly going to be bad. Yeah, Limetime has some good fortune getting the big Den of Sin turns down before his Baron.
Yep.
And Derg's just had quite a bit of trouble getting more than 5 coins in a turn.
Wonder if he'll finish. So did that give him his?
He definitely has Orchard points for
merchant there.
Yep.
Yep.
And he goes in for Province. So Derg doesn't draw. He doesn't play as familiar, which is interesting. I'm a little confused about that.
People are discussing dins in the chat. I think they're still quite useful here. I think the expedition effect of din just makes it almost I know that's why it tempts people into buying it a lot anyway, but I think it's justified. I
I think
mean,
a legionary for Derg there would have been reasonable though.
yeah. So he just hits 7 here, which is always going to be super depressing in a game like this.
Yeah, he's got a long way to go before he sees anything he buys here.
Yeah, you're definitely right that about the legionaries. I mean, particularly for Dirk, where there's zero terminal collision. Um, it's hard to actually explain why you would even get a gold over possibly the first legionary.
But Derg goes for a duchy. I think he's overestimating. Well, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, Limetime does pick up another province there, but he's almost certainly not getting a province this turn.
I mean, this could easily just end on a 3 pile on duchies.
Oh, that's true. I didn't see that that possibility.
So, but I don't know that Dirk playing for it helps him in any way. Really.
Limetime goes in for a baron there, looking to get the orchard points, which is smart.
Yeah. So
Derek doesn't really have that option. Oh, that was actually his orchard merchant. So now
it's
they're
not
tied.
exactly the same Sam legionary versus gold because the legionary is potentially points down the line. So,
and also the attack potential.
Well, right, but the attack it is symmetric with respect to the attack because you have to have both. But
you
not.
can't have both if you have no legionaries.
Yeah, but I'm saying for the first buy, legionary versus gold.
Oh, but that ship's already sailed. But yeah.
Yeah. I was just talking. I'm doing a thing that probably is poor commentary, but it's trying to carry on a conversation with someone in the chat. Anyway.
Yeah, so Limetime with a choice here, he decides to go for province. Dirk keeps going in for the duchies. He's going to have some bad turns ahead of him like this one.
Now we're just
Limetime looking to empty merchants while ahead on points.
if he finds his baron, then
There's a baron.
Oh, and then there's the estate, so that's game. I'm not certain that was actually. I mean, it was okay-ish, but not probably Limetime's clearest path to victory there.
Are you talking about the barons in general or the lowering of the merchant?
The lowering of the merchants.
Mm-hmm. How do you feel about the barons, like, after seeing what happened?
I don't know. I would want to see it played more than once, but they were fine. I mean, in the game, it was fine. Like, it did a lot of stuff for him repeatedly. So that's certainly a point in favor of him.
Yep, so that's 2 games in Limetime's favor and his start into the third game. This board has bridge, but draw is going to be a little bit tricky, I think. But I think... and then trashing is a little bit slow with, like, trading post, but you probably try for the bridge thing.
I mean, I would at least head that direction. Ghost Town, of course. I mean, you have to fight over the ghost towns, right? Because if someone gets 10 of them, they can probably build the deck.
Yeah.
If you don't compete on the ghost towns, they will beat you. Like, no question about it.
So Limetime actually opens with Ghost Town on his turn 2, bridge Ghost Town. Derg goes for a silver bridge. He did not have the option to get Ghost Town on turn 2. So we'll see if Limetime wants to open or get a trading post here or start with an artisan.
I would go for the trading post. myself.
Yeah, I think actions are pretty tight that Artisan is going to be tough to pull off. So Limetime does neither and goes for Bridge Ghost Town.
I certainly don't think like the bridge split matters. Like I don't think you have to rush those down at all.
I think I would want a trading post.
I would want some sort of trashing here. Whether that means get a stonemason on some advisors or something.
Oh, you know what Limetime could have done? He could have stonemason for trading post and either a second trading post or a soothsayer or something on that previous
I
turn.
thought about that, but I don't like that many. I don't like throwing that many terminals. I don't think that actually gets you anywhere near a clean deck.
Yeah.
Um,
Limetime is going very aggressively after the ghost towns. I think he has 4. So Derg does go in for an artisan, and he's gonna have an opportunity here to like top deck a trading post or something.
Limetime really hitting those bridges too.
Yep. Yeah. I don't know with no trashing. I guess you can go for a 3-pile thing though. Like, seems fine.
This is well, it's not too bad. Turn 6 trading post is okay. If Limetime just like well, he is really running the ghost town, so I
Yeah,
assume
he's getting all the piles.
he can stonemason some stuff. I would be looking at overpays for in envoys and advisors for sure.
Yeah, something to be careful of though is Limetime won't be able to, if he gets 2 bridges in play, he won't be able to overpay for stonemasons themselves.
Right.
But he can go for advisors because they're actually a good card in his deck. Derg now going after some ghost towns, wants to get some. So with cost reduction, you can trash your shelters without gaining copper, which is nice. Via stonemason.
Yeah.
But Limetime decides not to play the stonemason at all.
I do think Limetime has gone heavier on bridge than I would have. And I would have gone for an envoy in there for sure. He doesn't like you don't need that many bridges. You're not going to draw that many bridges certainly.
So I think Derg's response here could be to buy a province.
Yeah, I mean
Right here.
he has to at least think about I don't I don't know that that really will save him particularly.
I don't think following Limetime is the correct approach at all, though.
No. I mean I agree.
I think buying a province there to trash Hovel, like, that just makes it quite a bit harder for Limetime to empty piles and win. Like, what do you do as Limetime if your opponent picks up the province there? Like, what's your plan now? You go in more for advisors, I guess, so you can get duchies.
You just have to I mean, I don't think Limetime's deck is so terrible that it couldn't green a little bit. But maybe it is. I certainly think I would want to play with. I mean, from the beginning, I would want to have trading post sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I think
Um,
Limetime's deck was actually better like a couple turns ago, or like a few turns ago when he could buy ghost towns.
yeah,
And
there.
now he doesn't get that like first buy advantage.
Yeah, the issue also is he just has buried his advisors on the shuffle, so the shuffle looks a lot worse than it maybe would on average because he buried every advisor, at least so far through the shuffle. Um, I mean, if Derg had gotten a province, Limetime's deck is not incapable of buying province if he gets advisors right. Because
Mm-hmm. I mean, advisors are going to reveal a lot of bad cards for Limetime, but I guess with enough copper, you
yeah,
just play a
that's what
bridge and
I'm
a
just
bunch of
thinking.
copper. Yeah.
I'm just thinking. Let's say he has one bridge and a
Yep.
considerable amount of copper. He can still afford one.
Yeah, but Limetime picked up an estate on his previous turn, which is a little weird. He didn't even trash a hovel with it. Now he goes after two estates. So it looks like Limetime is eyeing estate
Yeah.
as a third pile.
Now he's just fully committed to that, but that really is strange.
So something interesting here. Derg can top deck an envoy because he knows he has a ghost town, and he goes ahead and
Yeah.
does that.
He might want a duchy buy here.
Yep. And potentially he gets a province next turn. He
The
has
estate lowering is the strangest thing to me. The Lifetime really did draw awfully on this shuffle. Um, he didn't find any. I don't know how many advisors he has exactly. At least 3, and they're all bottom decked.
yep.
So Dirk did take the duchy,
Mm-hmm. And he has
and
2 silvers in his hand. Because yeah, that's
yeah,
right. Limetime never got a single silver, so Derg has all 3 of those silvers.
you know,
So good chance to province here, I'd say. Derg could even trash like the ghost town in his hand if he needs to get to like the province threshold.
I'm sure he'll have 8 after the envoy play. Um, though it might be better to. Yeah, I mean, I think it probably.
Or something to get to 8.
Playing a bridges gets you a province, and you could also trading post a couple things, I guess, if you wanted to, but I
So
don't think I'd want to kill my
JSH
bridges.
JSH says this is Derg's last good turn, but I think Derg's deck is better
Yeah,
than
well,
Limetime's.
I mean, it's JSH, so
He has an artisan which can gain duchies. Like he has 3 silvers which can gain duchies. Yeah.
JSH plays with an interesting version of reality. Um,
Well, I know JSH likes likes the emptying piles whenever it's a viable option. So
so Dirk does take the province. That's how I would have played that turn for Dirk.
okay.
Um, since Limetime decided to self-destruct his deck with the estates.
Yeah, I'm a little concerned about the amount of terminals that Derg has, but it's no big deal.
In practice, a little bit of collision isn't so bad, and he may have like if one of the collisions with trading post, there's a chance there to just trash the other terminal for money, and potentially stonemason can be played on something for finishes if that's in the cards. I mean, if they kind of dive into this just pure greening state, I don't.
So it looks like Limetime's aiming to win next turn. So if Derg gets a duchy, he thwarts that plan.
Yeah.
Which he can.
Yeah. Derg could even, if he really wanted to, he could run estates down too.
Oh,
so.
he can actually
Does he have
get
a
3
finish
estates
here?
if he wants.
JSH says Derg can win now, but I don't know if that's true.
He doesn't have 2 buys, so he can empty Stonemason Bridge. No, he can't. He doesn't have
he
bridge in
can
play.
he can empty bridges, and he can.
Oh, is that a province he has in there? He can't trash the province though.
He can empty everything but one estate, but that's not particularly good. He could take the estates and the duchy, but he opts for just the duchy.
Yeah, the risk there is okay. That's 2 bridges down. Limetime doesn't have the buys, but he can get a duchy here. Oh wait, he can stonemason the ghost town. I think Limetime.
He could finish, but it's not a
Right, because he can't
win.
get the duchy and the stonemason for bridges.
No.
Oh boy.
He just immediately plays the bridge again.
Yeah. He wanted to evaluate stonemasoning the bridge line, but that
Yeah.
led nowhere.
No, there's no finish here. He can do the double duchy estate or double estate duchy, but he's just going for duchy.
I think I like taking 2 estates as Derg.
I think he yeah. I'm trying to think if there's a line then. I mean, Limetime's got a lot of ghost towns down, which is probably better for gaining estates and stuff than duchy, but we'll see what Derg does here.
Oh, Dirk could have gotten a duchy there if he was willing to trash his ghost town.
Yeah.
I would have been tempted by that if I had. Because it is pretty scary, as you say, with the 3 ghost towns in play.
So he does go ahead and lower. Limetime. I don't think Limetime really got the draw to finish in here.
He can stonemason a duchy for 2 bridges. And I think he'd be short.
So now Derg just needs not much. And in fact, he should have it with this
Bridge. He has it in hand, right?
with his bridge invoice stuff. Well, he has to score some, so he has to score duchy.
That's right, because the states are gone.
He can play the envoy and see what he turns up with. I mean, there's no reason not to play the envoy.
JSH with the bold prediction.
Yeah. JSH needs to be banned.
There's no reason not to play the Envoy.
Yeah, no, you got to play it. I mean, you don't have any information that makes you think that the next 5 cards.
But even if you did, like you can play 2 terminal actions and you have 2 terminal actions and Bridge doesn't draw. So
I know. So he's got to deny Artisan.
Yeah.
Because that's just automatic finish. But so he should be up to yeah, he's up to province again, so that's nice. He is not. He is a couple dollars short of the finish.
Yeah, province should be
So he
completely
can
safe.
just province and toss down a couple ghost towns is really good.
Double duchy instead of province. That is actually probably better because Limetime cannot get.
Well, one thing is he can't do that. So, but
but yes, it would be better, I think.
I would always be afraid, but yeah, I think it would be. I think it's basically impossible for Limetime to province. So, and the duchy itself wouldn't be enough to catch up. So, you're right. It would be good to lower those, but it's not possible. So,
Limetime has no ghost towns in play.
Yeah.
So
the advisors become super garbagey, potentially. Like I would give him advisors here, for sure. Like I would just let him.
Interesting.
Because.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
He can't make them work with terminals, so you just.
No, he discarded the bridge.
Like you don't want to give him the villages. You just. You just give them the advisors.
Limetime, first silver.
Since the advisors represent just like something 14. Way worse. Anyway, Derg has it in hand now, so he can stonemason for the bridges. He can just buy stonemason, overpay, and empty bridges. I'm sure that's what he's doing. Chat is talking about him missing it, but so Derg finishes that one. I think Limetime really botched it by going for the estates in the middle of the game.
Yeah, that was a weird line. So that's 1 for Derg, 2 for Limetime. It's going to be Derg's start at game 4.
Yeah. So now we're just basically back to parity as far as wins and starts.
I like this board because it has gear and raise, which are 2 of my favorite cards.
Yeah. The you can definitely make dominate work here with bazaars.
Transmogrify gear is a very strong opening. I think it's actually better than raise. I mean, you could pick up a raise later potentially, or alter to trash copper. Either way works.
You need something. I'm not actually sure. I would be wondering. I mean, the transmogrify does look appealing, but I would be a little bit curious to see if something like a raise gear opening, aiming to get to alter, if that would actually move through the deck a little bit faster than the transmogrify stuff would.
So I'm not convinced that there's anything here that actually beats straight gear transmogrify. So this was like shockingly fast when I did some solo runs with it.
Are you not trying to dominate?
Correct. I found it's a little bit inconsistent, but I found in my testing that Gear Transmogrify could get 6 provinces in somewhere between 12 and 16 turns. So that's a pretty big range, but
it would work. It gets help from Battlefield here. Definitely in terms of trying to go up against something that dominates later.
Yeah, I mean 6 provinces is the threshold where at that point you're going to beat the dominate player. I mean, the upside is Transmogrify can mill provinces also, which helps
Yeah.
out.
The
Derg, however, opens with a Smugglers.
yeah.
Limetime with the Gear Transmogrify opening. I don't think either player is going to play it that straight, but it is something that would be interesting to see.
Nice for Derg here to get to smuggle the Bazaar.
Absolutely, and he should pick up a gear.
It would be, yeah, I don't know. With Battlefield here,
actually,
even 5 provinces might be a big enough point thing. Or I guess it's not technically, but
yeah, it's like can a dominate opponent like get 3 dominates before you get 6 provinces is the question. And you can like one of those can be milled basically.
Yeah.
It's
They're
not
both
like a really
smugglers.
explosive payload type board. So I would actually be inclined to think that provinces are better than dominate.
I could see it. I'm sure it's not what I would do, like first looking at it, but I can see it.
There's also
What
Grave
you're
Robber,
saying.
which helps with the province payload if you want to go that direction. Grave Robber, like Bazaars.
Yeah. They're at this point they're both just super heavy smugglers, or pretty heavy smugglers. Getting these Bazaars. So I have to imagine they'll be able to build up to the dominate thing if they both end up with 5 or something Bazaars in their deck. Someone has 6 or something.
Yeah, I mean you need gold either way, like to get to dominate.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a great thing to smuggle as well.
You can do Grave Robber Pillage, I guess. Too here.
Yeah.
I wonder how much that would mess with money. How many turns it would cost the money.
Yeah, it's less of a big deal with gear, but definitely affects it a little.
I mean, you'd still hit some golds, right? I mean,
yeah, for sure.
They wouldn't always be in the gear hand, or in the gear. So many smugglers.
It's actually just 1 for Limetime and 2 for Derg, but yes, Derg sees them both there, which is not what he wants. A lot of gears have been gained. It is the only draw on this board, which is pretty awkward. You know, ultimately it is like for an engine, it is moat caliber draw. So you need to be really trashed for
unless
that
you
to
have
work
like
out.
A lot of them and you can set aside really aggressively. I mean, I think you tend to need to set aside aggressively with gear pretty much no matter what, but
yeah. I'm really not feeling the dominate too much. It's tough to get that amount of payload on this board with this draw. And especially when you have stop cards like Smugglers and now Alter.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure how fast it actually goes. I would want to. I mean, if you were playing it, like if your goal is just to dominate really fast, you would probably not buy a Smugglers. And I'm not actually sure if you buy a Transmogrify. I might just be doing raises to deal with the estates.
So that was an interesting choice by Derg. I think I might have wanted to save the estate for the Transmogrify turn. It is by far the best Transmogrify target in the deck right now. Soon you'll want to Transmogrify Smugglers, but not yet. Not till the Bazaars are gone. Now Derg has an altar.
I think I would have rather. Well, I'm not sure. The altar targets are like almost gone. I mean, you can do pillages, I guess. That might be reasonable still, but
So Derg has a dead turn coming up, no Bazaar, and no way to Transmogrify into Bazaar.
right. But if his bottom card, if he has one in the bottom, he's still.
Oh, if he raises, yeah.
He can also raise bigger if he wants. I mean, he could raise smugglers even.
He could.
Probably not going to raise smugglers since the smugglers is a guaranteed Bazaar gain this turn, but he could. I mean, if you feel really desperate, if you really want to get your search space up, you can transmogrify your something into a 4 and raise that, which would give you the best chance. But if you know you have a Bazaar down there, then you don't have to do that at all. So,
yep. So turn is saved. I think you don't save any cards with this gear. Just you use your last gear of the turn to save whatever is appropriate.
Depending on how much money you have, what you want to buy, you might want to start doing it earlier. But I'm not super confident of what the rest of his deck looks like to know whether that would be the thing to do here.
He's got a Bazaar and a Smuggler, or an Altar, sorry, and a Smugglers, yeah. So
because he's gonna end up with more money, I think, than he needs. Although maybe by $1.
So
maybe
he can
not.
save Copper Smugglers here, alter the Copper. I don't know what you gain with that altar. The Smugglers gains the Bazaar, and then you buy a gold. Yeah.
Might take a pillage.
Yep.
I
think cash was mentioned in the
that would
chat,
be my
but
inclination anyway.
I think cash is pretty bad. Well, you still have coppers left.
Yeah. Cash is not. I wouldn't get it even if I didn't have coppers left, but
so gear and Bazaar are gonna run, and I don't see another like pile that's gonna empty easily.
not unless they really churn through these pillages.
I think if you do the pillage thing, just Grave Robber becomes pretty appealing. I mean, terminal space becomes a little tight at that point. I mean, it's already tight for Derg.
I would just be thinking, like, what am I altering these coppers into? Like, there's not a great selection here at this point. And at least pillage, it's actually trashing eventually, to get rid of it. But maybe I'm still thinking too much about trying to get to dominate. And maybe even now someone should be just thinking about how they can start mowing through the provinces.
Yeah, I like gold here, but pillage definitely a reasonable thing to do. Derg goes with gold. It's gonna give Limetime a nice smuggler's target.
Yeah, I wasn't necessarily. I think I agree with the gold buy. I was just thinking more as a possibility for altar at some point, but probably not worth it while there's still gears left. So they did split the altars.
So it's interesting, like without a second thought, Limetime sets aside 2 copper with his like mid-turn gear.
Yep.
And it looks like he did it again with the last gear. I think that was one too many.
I would think it'd be fine. I mean, it depends on what you were really looking to buy, but if you just are fine with buying a gear or a pillage, then it looks good to me.
Mm-hmm.
As particularly if you're okay with buying a gear, it looks like super good, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna have $3.
Mm-hmm. And that's what Limetime does. So he gets I think that's 6 of the gears.
We probably can see them all. See, he went through the deck one.
Or maybe he only got 5.
I think it's 5. I think it's 5/5.
Okay.
We'll see when Derg goes through his deck, but it looked like 5 counting Limetime's turn.
Yeah, Limetime was the first to get through his deck. I don't think he's particularly more trashed, but he got things in the right order, and he does not have an extra smugglers.
He does have 4 coppers set aside, and that's all his coppers.
Derg would probably like to transmogrify the smugglers.
Derg still has.
Oh no!
If that was all, Limetime has 4 coppers set aside, and he didn't play any, did he? So,
Yeah.
I think Derg is quite a bit behind on trashing.
There are only 4 coppers in the trash, so yeah, Derg has trashed 1 copper, and Limetime has trashed 3.
Yeah.
And Derg has a bit of a dud turn here. Only 1 action remaining.
Gonna have to blow up the raise again. He could blow up the smugglers. He's not getting anything off at this turn. Oh, he could get
He can gain gold. Yeah.
Not sure if he can sustain 2 of them though. Oh,
2 smugglers. Yeah. He doesn't have the.
So yeah. I would probably be looking to raise that guy, which he does.
Doesn't entirely save the turn, but it definitely improves what he can do there. He's falling behind in trashing. So another option there would have been save either the altar or the smugglers and just trash 2 copper, 1 with raise. Like 1 with raise, 1 with altar. I don't know. Because here, I think. Do you get province?
I'm having a hard time grasping the decks as far as capabilities. Limetime's is a little easier to understand now because it's sort of drawing deck. I mean, he'll lose, right, if he just greens, I think, to Limetime. Like Limetime's not gonna struggle to match him with the trashing advantage, right? I don't think.
Derg can by buying a gold there, the problem there, I mean, you give Limetime a gold with your smugglers.
Yeah.
He could have got a province and avoided that.
Yeah. I mean, that is the main appeal, right? To avoiding the gold there would be you just don't want to feed him that good smuggler's target. Because I think this is a case where we could analyze Derg's options, but I think Limetime just, assuming Limetime plays pretty cleanly, he's gonna have just all the advantages in his favor.
Yeah, he's very, very far ahead here.
Just by virtue of the trashing.
Yeah, Limetime doesn't even need to play that last gear. He can leave it for his next hand he's got the pillage thing now.
Yeah. So Limetime gets, and the pillage will really hurt here.
Yeah, this was very nicely played by Limetime this last couple turns. And that is enough to dominate.
Can dominate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, his deck's in a great spot now. Yeah, the altar gaining pillage. That's a very good spot to be in. Yeah, Limetime had a good plan for his deck. That was turn 10. Yep, I am revising my opinion. I think
They
what
did.
Limetime's
The,
doing
the question is whether
is
they
very
like
good.
accelerated themselves somewhat by the smuggler.
Hmm.
It's smuggler makes the sort of the turn count measure a little bit different. It could just muck with it either direction, really. But you wouldn't typically be able to gain a gold and a pillage like that on your turn. You can I was gonna say you can down cost the transmogrify thing to save the turn. So he converts to a raise. It's not gonna be anywhere near enough to actually rescue the game, but it does give you a turn at the very least, I guess.
Yeah, I think Derg could be setting aside some more copper. Oh wow, I don't like that choice. He needs to trash these copper to have a chance. He's one
Yeah.
short of dominate, but even if he hit dominate, it's not sustainable. Like with
No.
all these copper.
No. In fact, it's not even really sustainable for Limetime. Um, though what Limetime can do is trash provinces to alter.
Yeah, I mean Limetime still has 3 copper left, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if he has that much, then he can do it for a few more turns.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Limetime could also alter provinces if he runs out of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And that's super easy to keep the pillage.
I think he has a raise also he could alter.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
yeah, 3 copper and a raise. So Limetime has fuel for
I wonder if he
days.
just transmog provinces every time. Jeez, he just transmog the province into. He's gonna go for a pile out.
Into a raise. Oh my god.
He's going for the pile out because he's got smugglers and altars still to finish.
That's well, that is the
That's
fastest way to win.
That's the.
That's impressive.
It is. It's a good. It's a good win. I've just never seen a transmog province to raise.
uh I would just never see that line as Limetime. That would never occur to me.
Recently, I would see a line that looked like that, but was more complicated and didn't actually. That's been my.
It's been your mind frame.
It's been my thing recently is to like see a finish, but it's like not really there. Or it's like there with like way smaller chances than some guaranteed thing.
Yep. Well played by Limetime. That is his 3rd win. Now he's up 3-1 and has the start in the 5th game, which has a bunch of VP symbols covering the beautiful Dominion art.
Yeah. See who gets this Defiled Shrine. 5-2 would be super, super good.
Oh yeah.
You'd get to open with the best card in Dominion and another really good chapel. I guess you can make real good use of Courtier here, can't you?
Haunted Woods,
Butcher,
yep.
yeah.
And Haunted Woods is the draw, so you do it.
And you don't really worry about Bandit Fort because you just
Butcher.
remodel them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a pretty sweet board. So it's a question of whether you open Silver with Chapel or Walled Village.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you're gonna get a silver, right? You have to get one to hit 5, or just be a prophet and know you're gonna get super lucky.
Yeah. I think Dan Brooks is the biggest defender of Chapel Village opening.
I've never really played around with it, to be honest.
But in this board, there's no 3 or 2 cost terminals, so it seems especially not great.
Yeah. Winner points out you could do You could do 4 and then hope to get another 4 and then buy a procession would be another way into it. So, um, I don't know, but yeah, it is another thing you do.
I think I don't like procession very much here, but I'm not very creative with the card.
Seprix, just so you know, the Twitch stream looks like it's down. Oh, never mind. This was just maybe my browser window was messed up. All right. So they both go Chapel Silver. This, of course, is the sad draw for Limetime.
Not maximally sad, and Derg gets a slightly better draw, but he doesn't
Yeah.
get to trash 2 estates either.
No.
Just the 1 estate, but 1 extra copper.
But I would rather have the card right now, the trashed card.
So Limetime probably wants a village here.
Wasn't he just gonna buy a?
Wow, I am blind. Sorry,
here?
that was a big whiff on my part.
I think both go ahead and take butchers.
Yeah, Butcher can convert those silvers into Haunted Woods and Courtier and stuff.
So Limetime's second shuffle is super good. Since he gets the 4 trash and the butcher buy.
1 estate left, I believe.
Which is actually better than copper.
Since he has the butcher, yep.
Since you do have the butcher.
So Derg is probably deciding.
I mean, you have plenty of targets, so it's not a huge deal one way or the other, really. But
Derg's deciding whether or not to trash the copper.
Yeah. I would just do the estate. He's going down, so.
Yep, getting the village. He'll be completely clean after this turn, though.
That's true.
So Derg needs to save 1 copper.
Yep.
Limetime bottom decks the butcher, but he can. I think it's probably correct to chapel both coppers for Limetime and pick up a village. Maybe not. Maybe just
sure.
1.
I'd have to think about. This is one where you can like plan your next few turns.
Yeah.
If you stop and think about it.
Limetime plays pretty fast, though.
Yeah. So Derg's just got to buy butcher here. I would take a courtier, I think, before a haunted woods, but
yeah, you don't really need the draw.
At this point, you don't need the draw, right?
It looks like Limetime's going to have quite a like this turn. He can. Yeah, it's a little awkward.
The
2 villages.
The tougher thing to do here, like probably Limetime wants to do butcher estate into like procession. Like there's not. I mean, I think you just want to start on the procession stuff because you can make
pretty
it
smart.
work here.
Yeah, because he can buy a village, so he can process the village immediately.
Yeah. Well, and he already has one.
Yep. So he'll still have 1 left over, and he can process and then play his other village to draw whatever he processed into.
Yeah, assuming he gets the procession in with village in the starting hand, he'll be able to gain and play pretty easily.
Yeah, let's see if he sees that line.
He does hit it. So I guess you just get the. I'm not sure what you do for the 5. If you get a second butcher, or if you get into the courtier right away. I guess the courtier is really just going to be +3 for you, +$3.
I don't know how good the second butcher is. I mean, it's just going to be coin tokens, right?
You still have like 3 cards in your deck you want to butcher, 3 or 4 cards you want to butcher, and you're gonna start gaining golds. I mean, whether you want it right away, I'm not sure, but I would certainly play with multiple butchers here.
So Derg is going to have a 4-cost gain and then a 5-cost buy. Gets the Workers' Village. He's got a copper left, and he just trashes Chapel, so it's a little inconvenient.
Yeah.
Courtier.
It looks very good for Limetime again.
And this would be the deciding game.
Yep.
Courtier's, yeah, for gold gain is not so good here because you can't draw it up this turn.
Yeah, you would just be taking it for the cash. And it doesn't really give you an extra buy because you already have 4 to 7 doesn't really change what you're getting that much.
Yeah, I think a second butcher is quite reasonable for Limetime. He can even take the curse after butchering Chapel and Silver.
I think Haunted Woods is, unless you're gonna gain a whole bunch here, is just not doing. Certainly, he can take the curse since he got the Haunted Wood. That's super safe now, but
Walled Village was the gain. Oh, to process, right?
Yeah, it's just procession. Although he doesn't really know which one he's going to. So if you do want buys, you should actually he's going to draw everything, isn't he?
I think he wanted to maximize defiled shrine points.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, this is going to be nearly impossible for Derg to come back from.
So Marcus posted the defiled shrine stats that have been collected, and the threshold seemed to be if you first gain it with 6 or fewer VP, you're more likely to be losing, and like 7 through 9 was like pretty.
But 8's no good.
Even. It was
7
fine.
through 9.
8 was fine.
7 or 9.
Pretty much nobody.
Some
gains
of them are
it
like that. Some of the stats are like that though. You know, it's since it's
very low sample size. Yeah,
they're spiky. I always appreciate Tracer's comment that whenever it's something like turn 12 is bad or something, you know, he always makes a joke about, oh, clearly we need to do it turn 13.
Yeah. But, I guess the point I was trying to get across is this is pretty 11. Uncommon to get, for it to get this high, especially in the face of so much trashing. But Limetime, I think, added 3 VP that turn. So it's not like Derg had a good opportunity to take it the previous turn.
Yeah.
He also missed the Workers' Village, which would have made the opportunity cost a lot lower. So just a really good sequence of events for Limetime.
Yep. He'll of course get another chance to do some gain and play stuff here. Exactly what that should look like for him. I have to expect, since he was willing to get the Haunted Woods last time, that he'll have on here. I would probably be looking to butcher a silver into a 5 myself.
Yeah, he'd get a Courtier if he plans to process into Haunted Woods.
Yeah, or either or, it doesn't matter which direction.
Yep.
But so I think that looks pretty solid. Sam is saying he'll butcher the curse, but I would not. I would rather get the 5.
Especially if you're putting a Haunted Woods down this turn. You
can play it. You can play it all. I don't think you can gain the gold, but he got a procession. You can get a lot of stuff here with the processions.
Oh god, that's right. He has 2 processions. Is he gonna process the butcher?
As long as you, he may just process all the 4s. As long as you put like one, as long as you put one village back in your deck, it's as long as you have one target for the session the next turn, it's fine.
Yeah.
Um,
So Limetime picks up one Haunted Woods and 2 Courtiers, but he couldn't draw.
yeah, he couldn't draw. So he could have, but I guess you can never really draw at all.
Yeah, with 2 processions, he was pretty locked in.
Yeah, I was thinking he had 3 villages. Yeah, that was not right. So,
So that turn was a little bit low on tempo for Limetime, but this upcoming turn will be good.
He gained 3 5s, so that's not really too bad.
So Derg gets to be the first to play Courtier. Doesn't need the action, so he can get by 3 coins and a gold. The buy doesn't matter either if you're processing workers' villages.
No. Buy probably isn't gonna matter at all here. I assume he's gonna go silver into a 5 and buy one of these villages.
Well, he should get a Haunted Woods.
Yeah, if he can't gain in play, yeah, he should put one.
It's just nice to have in your opening hand anyway, because you can play the Courtiers before you do the procession village thing.
That's true.
JSH is looking for the 3 pile on Limetime's next turn.
Yeah. I think we've got a little bit. If he gained like a whole bunch of processions in the next turn, then maybe the following turn it would be on the table, but
that's worst draw for Limetime. His procession is bottom decked.
yeah, it's okay. It would be worse if the village was bottom decked.
True. So we'll see if he plays the procession.
I have to imagine he just will hold off on it. It would be
top deck procession. That's true because the opponent's Haunted Woods. That's pretty good thing to do.
Yeah, that is pretty nice. Friendly Haunted Woods are always cool. Probably gonna be a friendly Haunted Woods through most of the game.
Limetime is considering whether or not to gain gold. I think I would not want gold in this situation, but Limetime takes it.
If I had a second Haunted Woods down this turn, then I'd be okay with it. But
right.
In general, I would just be looking to do it if I can gain in play, since you have some cantrips anyway.
Yeah, it's just
to take it when you need it. But
yeah, if Limetime gets like procession, and then like 2 villages or something, he is going to have a pretty explosive turn.
Let's see if he turns the copper all the way up to a 4, since he could do that. But he just takes the
no trash
silver to procession.
Okay. And with 3 buys, he could get 3-4 cost cards. Probably the thing to do.
Yeah, I assume double or at least 1 procession as well.
Well, he has 2 processions in the deck now. Okay, so now he has 3 processions and 3 workers' villages.
JSH is hunting for 3 piles.
Sure is.
He might have one.
If
I
Dirk
think it
doesn't get
probably is.
points.
Yeah. I think he probably would have one, and maybe even if Dirk gets points.
So it's a little
That-
bit unfortunate for Dirk to not. Oh, he doesn't have the Haunted Woods. Yeah, that's why I'd rather have the Haunted Woods than the Double Butcher, because you could play the Courtiers, get the gold, and before you do the procession on village thing.
Well, yeah,
draw
you
those
definitely. I
golds
mean,
up.
you definitely need to have. I mean,
Yeah,
you need to have 2 haunted woods for sure. I mean,
yeah. Like, what are these butchers doing in a starting hand? The Haunted Woods would be much more valuable.
yeah. Limetime can do curses pretty easy if he does this procession workers village stuff.
Yeah, I think that's pretty decent odds that Derek does green because he's out of like silvers to butcher. He has the 2 butchers, so like butchering golds seems like the reasonable play.
Yeah, he's to not have a haunted woods down this turn is like killer.
I mean, he's going to because he. Oh no, he
He's
only had the
not.
1 village. Oh
Yeah,
gosh, yeah, that was just poorly played.
yeah. I mean, you just can't. This next turn is totally dead.
In
I mean,
fact,
it's not totally dead, but it's not going to be that impressive.
yeah, like I don't know what the procession was even doing there. Like the
The
second
second
procession.
one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did he gain it on the last turn? Yeah, he bought one. Yeah, it's not. It's definitely. Um, if it was a village, he could have drawn the haunted wood, kind of been in. At the very least, I wouldn't say he was necessarily in it, but he would have a.
He would have had a good turn, I think. If he had instead of double procession, he had the double village and he had the haunted woods in hand instead of the second butcher, he'd be able to get it like
Yeah.
get the golds from the courtiers, process the village, draw them up, and then he'd process also the butcher, be able to play the second village to draw the butcher. So he'd have 2 butchers, 3 gold. He'd be able to get 2 provinces that way, and put down the haunted woods. Like that would be pretty much impossible for Limetime to win on his next turn, and he'd be in a decent spot. And then he'd have his buy phase. Like that's not even counting his buy phase. That's just
I'm
what
not
he'd gain.
sure. I'm not sure he has all of that. I didn't follow the whole thing, but if he didn't have a second village, are you saying to gain a haunted woods instead of procession?
No, I'm saying if he gained a haunted woods instead of second butcher,
Oh,
and he
instead of
gained a
second
workers
butcher.
village
Okay.
instead of second procession.
Okay. All right. Well, I can. Okay. Yep. I mean, I totally agree with you. I just didn't track it all to see the to follow all the games you were describing, but I definitely agree with you about what to get on his previous turn.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. So Dirk bought a vault but didn't cash in on Defiled Shrine, which is I mean, he needs some draw, I guess, on his turn because he didn't put down a Haunted Woods,
I
but
mean,
he's
look at his
lost.
hand. It's done.
Yeah, it's over.
It doesn't do anything.
Yep. So a little misplay there for Derg in this game, and Limetime should be able to wrap it up, unless he really botches a 3-pile attempt.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Limetime would have to make some 3-pile attempt now that totally failed. But that doesn't look like that's happening.
Right.
And Limetime, in fact, will be able to take another pretty nice defiled shrine here. I would just procession the haunted woods.
Yeah, no plans
for your
to
finish.
have 2 turns. Yeah.
Yeah, for your finish the next turn.
And procession doesn't stay out when you play it on a duration, correct?
I thought it did. I don't remember. The rules on those have changed too many times for me to remember how it's supposed to work. But thought they stayed out. We'll find out.
Yeah, like I know Throne Room does, but I think Procession doesn't.
Yeah. At one point, Procession did, but I know it has changed, and I don't know what the current ruling is. If Procession doesn't stay out, man, then just Procession those durations all day long. Just send them on their way. I assume Limetime will take the 4-point curse, yeah. Yep, definitely no Procession out, so.
I mean, Derg can play all the cards in his hand. It's just,
Doesn't accomplish much.
Yeah.
Not even enough to.
He can buy province.
He can buy a province, yeah, but not even enough to catch up the.
Yeah.
The fun thing to do here is to be down, hugely negative bandit fort and then disappear all your treasures the turn you finish to make your comeback. But won't even have to do that.
Yeah, I mean, it's not actually easy for Limetime to end it here. I mean, maybe it is. I just don't see these procession things.
It's pretty easy.
I guess he can empty Haunted Woods, yeah.
He can procession 2 workers' villages and courtiers for buys. Like the curses can be made to disappear pretty easily.
Yeah, and getting rid of Haunted Woods, then you buy a workers' village, no problem. Yep.
Actually, I guess the curses are a bit too many gains, but the procession Haunted Woods workers' village thing should be totally doable. And he probably could have gotten pretty far on the provinces too.
Interesting.
If he had gotten butchers instead of Haunted Woods, he probably could have got through the provinces as well.
Yeah, I was thinking it is a bit surprising that Dirk went or Limetime went the whole game with only a single butcher.
Right. The procession was sort of filling that role to some degree as well. I'm glad he's just taking golds that.
Yeah, like those are points. But
I guess it's style points.
Yeah.
All right, so very well played by Limetime.
Mm-hmm. He manages to win the match 4-1.
Lots of clean play once he got the leads on those. On at least 3 of those games, he had sort of definitive leads.
Yeah, the governor one definitely could have been smoother, but that was the first game. Sometimes you're not fully awake to play Dominion when you start. And
his gap there was like, it's like what he did was not what losing.
Yeah.
So it was still a good path, or a workable path anyway. However, he chose to finish it out.
Yep. Congratulations to Limetime. He'll be advancing to the semifinals, playing the winner of Mixenok and Visunar, who will be playing later this week.
Yep, we play tomorrow night. So
excellent. I look forward to that.
Not as late, but a few hours before this one was. So thank you everybody for listening. Hope you enjoyed it. And I guess we'll catch you all later.